Hey, everybody. What a week it's been, right? I hope you guys are all doing great. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, you know what would be so amazing is if you can leave us a review in our Mind Your Health podcast through iTunes. That would be so amazing. It truly does make a difference. I want you to go ahead. Once you do leave me a review, you can private DM message me through our app Lupus Rebel on our Instagram and let me know you've done that. And I will send you a elimination diet guide specific for autoimmunity. So I would like you to do that for me because it really does spread the word. It helps with the algorithm. It really does help us to really get the word out there about our podcast. And thank you for those of you who already have it. I read every single one of them, and it really makes my work so much easier and so much more pleasurable knowing that you guys are tuning in. So today I want to talk to you guys about your identity, right? So we've been talking about a lot of subconscious identity. Subconscious because our identity is something that is not readily revealed to us. It's something that operates underneath the surface. And I just want to let you guys know, as autoimmune clients or patients, it tends to really box in, right? It really narrows our focus. It really narrows and makes us contract our very being living with autoimmunity. I can tell you when I was diagnosed, I really subconsciously resorted to the fact that I was forever going to be broken, living with an incurable disease. I was no longer worthy. And that was just the subconscious programming. And that's the identity that I lived my life for so long before I recognized it and I was able to wake up to it. So I want you to understand that according to Jim Fortin, one of my many mentors that I follow, he says most people work backwards. There is the model of performance, right? Most people work from a backward way where we must have whatever it is, like we must have health in order for us to do, and then only then will I be happy, right? So have, do, be. We need to flip that the other way, and then we want to be first and then do from that place of being healthy so that we can have the abundant health that we're looking for. So it's a completely different approach to look at it. You don't have the health that you want because you're not being who you need to be as healthy as you need to be. Who you be comes from your identity. And that's the topic of our conversation today. So who do you have to be to have the things that you want? Most of us start externally, looking outside of ourselves. Who do I have to be? How do I have to be so that I can have the health that I want and reverse my condition? But I want you to really be self-respecting person that keeps the promise to themselves. That's called being self-integral. And I want you to be the driver, not be the driven, right? Be committed, not be committed, right? Or be committed, not committed. You need to be the person you need to be to have the things that you want. And so I want you to ask yourselves, what's your identity? Who are you being? How do you show up every day? Many people do their way to get what they want because they are not being who they need to be. And this is a very exhausting way to live your life. You must first be the kind of person who has the characteristics to have what you want. So in order for you to be healthy and reverse your condition, you have to have all the right characteristics and behaviors and to-do lists that you follow day in and day out, right? You have to be that person to have what you want. You must first be that person on the inside. Everything you do or don't do is really a reflection of who you are on the inside. So I want you to think about identity reflection. Are you willing to hire the right people, right, to really cure your condition, right? And I want you to consider, like, are you really hiding from really gaining the health that you need and want by busying yourself to do the thing, but you're not really being who you need to be? Because at the end of the day, here's something that I want you guys to recognize is we only have here and now. And really, the symptoms that we experience in our bodies is a direct reflection of the imbalances within our body. And they manifest as different things. Some people, it's the hair loss. Some people, it's the rashes on their face. Some people, it's extreme fatigue. Some people, it can be many different symptoms of autoimmunity, right? Food sensitivity, all the things. But if you're not in your identity as a healthy person, then you will never get there by doing all the things you need to do to be healthy. It's sort of like if you are, so I've been a dietitian for over 2 decades now, and I've always known it's not really about the diets. There's no diets that work. It's the thinker of the dieter, right? It's the thinker. It's the being of the dieter that determines whether they're going to do the win or not. So if your identity is to be obese, then no matter what you do temporarily, it's always going to default back to being that person, the identity of who you are. So if I'm obese and if I believe I'm obese, then I'm always going to revert back to doing the things and being obese. And that's my route and that's my default pattern, right? So that's the fallback, is why diets don't work. The power of our minds, you guys, I can't emphasize the tremendous importance of it. So I want you to really understand that whatever you want, if it's not consistent with your identity of who you are subconsciously, you will never get there. So you can't be goal setting from a motivation. You won't get there. This is why many year after year, New Year's resolutions fail every single one, right? The subconscious identity is not who you are, and the identity will always win. It doesn't matter what you think you want in life. So I want you guys to know that this is our program called the Autoimmune Health Transformation. It's all about transformation. It's a little more, it's a little better, and it's a lot different, right? So transformation is not doing something a little more, little better, and a little different. That's just changes, a little few clicks, right? That's not transformation. Transformation is completely changing you from the inside out. It's not about dabbling in this thing and dabbling in that thing and hoping for something to stick. Why people do not create transformation is that we're like an onion. We have multiple layers to get through to really transform from the inside out, right? As I said, on New Year's, we have a resolution, but the identity keeps us from really sticking to that resolution. Identities and then the stories that we tell ourselves about who we are. So the foundation of your entire life is your very identity that drives everything that you do. So no matter what you think you want in life, if it's not consistent with your identity, you'll never get there. Your identity is your story of self-image. Easy to do what you are and hard to do what you're not. So before you can do with consistency, you have to be that characteristic, right? So I want you to really think about that. And I want you to really, really understand that you have to be the person. So I want you to really think about being the person. And how do you be from this place of being sick and really being riddled with this autoimmunity? I want you to think about what you have to be. What are the characteristics to be healthy, right? To be healthy means you have to be joyful, you have to be thankful, all the feelings, right? You have to be self-integral, means when you say you're going to do something, you're going to stick to your guns. And it means you have to be committed no matter what to do the things you say you're going to do, right? What are some of the characteristics? You have to be confident in your ability, right? So confidence is another thing. So I want you to think about all the things you have to be, and then look at all those value points and characteristics of what you're looking for. And then from that place, choose to live your life assuming that position or that characteristic versus getting busy doing. Because again, we have our thoughts, we have our feelings, we have our actions that produce the results. So I want you to always understand there's the circumstances in our lives, and our circumstances are our autoimmunity. And then the thoughts that we think ultimately triggers our feelings. And the feelings that we feel ultimately drives behavior or actions or inactions. And it's the cumulative actions or inactions towards whatever it is that we're creating becomes the result in our lives. And the result that we create in our lives, a lot of it is due to the habitual cycle. Even if it doesn't serve us, just because it's familiar and it's comforting to us, we might be doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's like being on this constant hamster wheel of life, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And so don't let that be you. I want you to get off that wheel, and this perpetuating wheel, and really choose to really meta think out your characteristics and choose to rethink the way you think to create the feelings in your body so that you create better actions towards the results that you want to create. Because I can tell you, if you're willing to do this meta work of not dabbling, but really transforming from the inside out, and it's like the peeling of the onion, right? There's a lot of layers to it that you have to strategically go through to unveil all the things that's available to you. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of years for you to really master and unlearn sort of the habitual cycles that you've learned that really runs your life subconsciously. And you have to sort of wake up to it to figure out if it's not serving you in this lifetime, in the results that you create, then you have to rethink how you think about things to really create better feelings that's going to drive better actions to create the result in your life. You have to reprogram. You have to unprogram, reprogram, and that's the transformative experience that you can expect through our program, Autoimmune Health Transformation. So if you haven't done so, I want you to join our private group called the Tribe of Autoimmune Health Rebels. And I'm going to be conducting a 10-day autoimmune detox challenge, which is changing the lives of so many. During this detox, I go over all the layers of the onions and all the things that you have to be aware of, from some subconscious programming to unveiling all your identity and the role and what you need to do to detoxify the old, to create the new, both in the foods that you eat, in the things that you think about, and the stories that you tell, and the feelings that you choose, as how intimate that is with your actions. we are able to uncover so much in your lives and pull the pieces back together. So by the end of our 10 days, you can actually experience the transformation in your life. So head on over there. The link is below. Go ahead and sign up for that. And then I will see you guys all next week. And remember, if you haven't done so, please go join me and subscribe to our Mind Your Health podcast in iTunes. And please, 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 I would love for you to leave preferably, of course, a positive review. And then you're going to DM me through Instagram at Lupus Rebel so that I can gift you the amazing elimination dietary plan for autoimmune clients. So until next time, I'll see you guys all soon. Bye-bye.